What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a while, but in this one I wanted to break down this Golden State Criterium. This is we call it the Office Park World Championships. We're back in an office park. It's not my favorite course in the world, I'll be honest with y'all, but the tactics were interesting. And in the first part of this video, I actually want to break down a pre-race routine that I tried out. I took it from Victor Campenaerts, who is a Belgian World Tour rider. I'm sure you guys have probably heard of him. He's pretty active on YouTube. And yeah, he put out this kind of day in the life, pre-race, pre-hard workout routine. And I tried it out for this Golden State Criterium day. And quick shameless plug, I just wanted to thank everyone that has been tuning into the live streams. I love reading the comments after I'm done racing of how you guys try to figure out what's going on. And yeah, I'm glad that I've kind of got these live streams working somewhat smoothly because I'm hoping to live stream the Tulsa Tough weekend. Maybe not all 3 days, but hopefully at least the first day, maybe the second, and we'll see about the third, the Crybaby Hill. Maybe I want to ditch the GoPros to try to keep the setup a little lighter. But as always, thank you all for everyone that's subscribed and commented. But yeah, let's jump into this. All right, Victor's routine. And if you guys aren't interested in this, I'll put a timestamp in the comments or description where you can click ahead and just go straight to the race coverage. So I think Victor has a pretty standard sort of what you would expect a World Tour pro would do the day of a race or a hard workout. But it consists of a spin session right after he wakes up. Then he does a cold bath. Then he has his pre-race meal. And then he looks at the ride or race route. And then during, he talks about fueling. And this was the video that I'll put a link to it. He was doing a hard workout that day, and he was looking to do 100 grams of carbs per hour on that race or that workout. So yeah, fuel. So I followed this pretty closely. I started the day off with a dog walk because I got to walk my dog, aka my daughter. And then I hopped on the trainer. And yeah, I used one of these breath restriction masks. And just a quick note about them, they have no influence on the amount of oxygen that you're breathing in. I think marketing teams for these things, they like to kind of insinuate that that's the case, but none of that is happening. It's just making it harder for you to breathe in and breathe out. So it's sort of just exercising your diaphragm a bit more. So Victor, in his video, he just talks about kind of priming his muscles, including his diaphragms, getting them ready for the high cadence efforts. And this is something I kind of believe in, not so much for priming your muscles. I think that's kind of a little wishy-washy, but I think doing exercise early in the morning just helps your body wake up. It clears out the chemicals that make you sleepy. And I think that can be really beneficial. So I'm all for the early morning spin and doing it with the breath mask. I bought one of these things, so I wanted to try it out. But to be honest, I haven't felt that it's really impacted the way I breathe or, strengthened my diaphragm or anything like that. I guess it doesn't hurt. It's one of those things. But yeah, maybe that's something you guys should try out for yourself. All right, step 2 is the cold plunge. And yeah, I am not a big cold water person. I'm always the last to jump into the pool. But there is a lot of science, and the reasoning behind these cold plunges isn't anything to do with reducing inflammation, like icing your muscles. It's nothing like that. This is all about creating a spike in adrenaline. And there's tons of science that have shown that adrenaline, it influences your mood, it wakes you up, it helps with athletic performances. So I did the cold plunge. I did it in my shower. And yeah, it was brutal, but I did feel really good after. It's one of those things that pains me to say, but I do think that this did positively influence my day. So again, maybe something to try out for y'all. And then we moved to the pre-race meal. So I had pancakes, and I'm not someone that weighs out his food a ton. And I was just surprised with how much food 100 grams it took to get to 100 grams of carbs with pancakes and some syrup. The syrup helps you out a lot. It's basically pure carbs, but it was a solid amount of pancakes and I was pretty full. So maybe I need to do some food weighing out just to kind of adjust and reorient myself with how many carbs I'm intaking. But after that, Victor looks at the route that he's going to do on VeloViewer. And I already did this course, so I knew it. But I still think that if you've never done the course, or at least think about the course if you have, and think about where you can gain an advantage on your competitors. If a turn looks like exactly the type of turn that you like, maybe that's a good place for you to attack during the race. And I think it pays dividends just to start thinking about these things and have a little bit of a plan. And lastly, fuel during the race. This is all jammed down our throats. Carbs during the race is very important. And I like to think about this not so much that it's going to help you during the race, but it's going to help you at the days after. So, this was a 2-day Omnium, and being able to recover because my glycogen stores are topped off and my muscles aren't being depleted so drastically is going to help you perform the next day. And that could be because you're racing that next day, or it could be because you just want to, do your recovery ride and have a nice time and not be so sore and just out of commission with one of these races. So I think Victor's pre-race routine, it's pretty standard, but I will definitely incorporate the cold plunge and the pre-race spin. I think those are both pretty surefire ways of making sure you have a better day. But all right, I linked Victor's video if you want to check it out for yourself. Let me know what you think in the comments, but let's jump into the racing. All right, so this course is about as basic as you can get. It's flat. It's basically 3 corners, with that fourth being kind of a sweeping right-hand bend. It was windy, which made things a little difficult. We are being pushed towards the right of the road on the start-finish straight. Our goal with my Terun Elite teammates was to work for my teammate Jacob and hopefully lead him out in the sprint. And I was going to try to be the last man. And the main teams we were looking out for were Mike's Bikes. I think they had a small squad with like 3 guys. And then there were some strong dudes from Volet, and then some strong individuals. There was this Hot Tubes kid, which I guess he's from SoCal, and he came up here to race. And Quinn Felton was also here, the Avolo dude who is, wicked strong. So my approach when I'm like a designated lead out guy or workhorse is I know I want to have as much energy as I can at the end, similar to as if I was the protected sprinter, but I still need to be the teammate and cover things. So I was going to be on the lookout for the dangerous riders, trying to go up the road and hopefully be on their wheel and follow things, mark them, make sure that we have representation up in the breakaway. And right on cue, I see Ryan from Mike's Bikes, who is always going to be active in every race that he lines up on. He's always going to be a factor. He starts winding it up and bridging up to this little move that's off the front. And yeah, I'm going to follow this. And this is basically what I'm going to try to do along with my other teammates until the breakaway gets established. So I'm bleeding through my eyes following Ryan, and we eventually get brought back. And my teammate Travis, along with I think 3 or 4 guys, counter, and they end up establishing a gap that becomes the breakaway of the day. And this is where it starts getting interesting. So a few stragglers end up bridging up, including I think Roman from Mike's Bikes, as well as Sam Benedict from Project 74. And for those of you that don't know, Sam is an ex-national champion, and he is a very, very strong sprinter. So him being up there, it kind of puts the power balance very much in favor of Project 74. And despite everyone having representation, all the major teams, I think Volet had a guy up there, Velo Kings, Mike's Bikes, like I said, we all are a little bit cagey about having Sam up there because we know he probably would clean up the field sprint pretty easily. So Quinn, the Avolo rider, missed it, so he starts rotating through, and Brian, who has a guy up in the breakaway, is actually taking a pull here. So this is probably one of those rare situations where it does make sense to chase your teammates. That being said, my guys, we're going to try to play it as coy as possible and not help with the chase, despite us knowing that Travis probably doesn't have the best shot against Sam. So there were tons of bridge attempts, and even my teammates, I think we made the mistake of trying to bridge and eating a lot of wind. I understand why they did it, like Sam is up there, so we want to try to at least get another guy to hopefully have 2-on-1 versus Sam. But I think it's just risky. I think we should have just lent on Mike's bikes as much as possible. Like Ryan and Sean is in this race. These guys are killers. And if we want to beat them, we're going to have to gain some sort of advantage. And I know it's a risk, having Travis be kind of left out to dry versus Sam up there. But I think it's the best play for us is just to lean on these other guys to try to bridge and follow them, but not eat any wind ourselves. So I think a question that comes up, like, how do you know which rider is going to try to attack and bridge? And I think 90% of that is just knowing who is strong in your field and just plant yourself on those guys. And then just knowing where they like to attack, into turns and out of turns is a very likely spot. And here I am following this Hot Tubes kid. And this is actually a really dangerous point in the race because Ryan is off the front and Sean bridged up to him. So they're two Mike's Bikes guys, and they're working together to try to make it up to that breakaway. And Roman, who is their rider up in the breakaway, I can see him dangling at the back of the breakaway. And I'm wondering if he's going to actually drop off the back of the breakaway and help them make it up to the move. And I am squinting. I'm trying to see. The second I see Roman start dropping back, I'm going to jump, because if Mike's gets a trio of riders up there, that's basically the race done. But luckily, Sean and Ryan showed that they're human. They didn't make it up close enough to, I think, where Roman felt the need. Felt that he could drop back to them. So we end up absorbing them back into the peloton. But all this flurry of attacks and bridge attempts has kind of brought the breakaway close. And we're within striking distance with, not very much time left in this race. All right, 9K to go, and things are getting pretty cagey. And this guy in yellow he does this move where he leans into Sean, and I come up to him. I start yelling at him. If I ever yell at you in a race, I'm sorry. I'm probably just hyped up on adrenaline. I probably don't mean it. But yeah, I'm just trying to make sure everyone stays safe. No need to throw elbows with still 8K left in the race. But my teammates are on the front. Ryan is still working on the front. Oh, here, Sean says, hey, to the live stream. And yeah, it's kind of looking like the break might get caught here. So I'm trying to conserve as much energy as I can to be as much of a help to Jacob. And honestly, I'm feeling like we have a pretty good shot at winning. Ryan and Sean, they both had huge efforts off the front, so I know they're feeling it in their legs. And I know this has not been an easy race, but we still have some manpower, and I'm hoping that we can use it. All right, 4K to go, and we see the breakaway. They are literally just up around that right-hand bend. And I know that some of these guys are going to start trying to launch across. So I tell Jacob, just stick on my wheel like your life depends on it. And I'm just going to close everything down. Hopefully keep the peloton stitched together, or at least tow Jacob up to the breakaway. So Ryan goes, and man, this is so hard. I have followed a lot of stuff in this race. This is really starting to hurt, and I just am gritting my teeth, because if Ryan makes it up there, again, this is kind of race over. We have to keep things together. All right, so I claw my way back up to Ryan's wheel, and I'm not even really on it. I'm not in his draft fully. I'm just pain dangling, and I even yell at Jacob. The brake is right there, and I yell at him to jump because I feel that Ryan is cooked and I'm definitely not going to be able to close that last little bit. And here we go through the start finish straight. We have 2 laps to go. And at this point, I just know I need to either hold Ryan's wheel or the race is done, because I can't leave Jacob out to dry. Ryan is just stealing glances behind, looking into my soul, and bam, he comes together with Cody Kaiser right there, and that was a little bit of a sketchy moment. So we're close enough, and we've done enough pulling to where people are jumping across. And look at Ryan, he just goes again, and I'm just so dead that I can barely even react to it. But I'm gonna grit my teeth again. I got a little bit of reprieve there. My heart rate, it went down a couple beats per minute. And yeah, this is my race done for sure. I can't even hold Greg's wheel right there as he comes by. I'm just so burnt. But it looks like the breakaway is gonna come together. And yeah, when they cross the start finish straight, it's bell lap. And I'll be honest, I kind of pull off. I'm cooked. Ryan made it up there, and Ryan ended up getting 3rd. My teammate Matt, who is on Jacob's wheel, actually ends up sprinting for 2nd, only to be beaten at the very last second by that Hot Tubes kid. So all in all, not a bad result. 2nd, and that kid is super, super talented. But I hope you all enjoyed this. As always, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're interested in that Tulsa Tough live stream. Hopefully those will be coming at you real soon. And yeah, I was glad to play a little bit of a teammate role in this, and yeah, sell out for the team. It's kind of fun to do that every now and again. But all right, as always, ride safe, go join your local race, and see you soon.